In this video, we're going to continue to explore VRAY for 3ds Max. We saw in the previous video how we can work with models imported from the external world of internet, so how we can get different type of models and how we can also adjust them a little bit and apply materials to them, materials that we can find in the libraries and in Chaos Cosmos. So we also saw how we can run the IPR, which is the interactive rendering, directly into the viewport, choosing the correct option in the viewport there. And we can also deactivate it. So when we activate the rendering, we can also see the difference between a proxy and the actual model. And again, we explained all these topics in the previous videos. In this video, we're gonna talk about global illumination. So I'm going to create a new scene here. So I will not save this one here. I will start from the template in 3ds Max, so we can start from the beginning. We can start from 0 to create our scene and talk about the global illumination. So the first thing I want to add is a plane where I can place my objects. So I will not use an infinite V-Ray plane here, I'm just going to use a standard plane and assign a simple color to this plane. But we can also see the materials later. Now, if you click on Chaos Cosmos, it's going to prompt you to activate the V-Ray as the render. So it basically is going to do automatically what you usually do here in the rendering, render setup and V-Ray render right there. So you can see there in the background, Chaos Cosmos is loading up the objects, and I can see here the ones that I already downloaded. So in this video, I'm not gonna import from the external. I'm gonna use these assets from Chaos Cosmos, and I will use this stand that you can find in the architecture section, just to use kind of a industrial design element here. And first thing, check the size and the units. Now in this case, probably I need to adjust the plane size there. So I'm gonna scale, because the objects coming from Chaos Cosmos, they are all already scaled. So you won't need to fix and adjust them. They are ready to go if you use V-Ray or also Corona. You can also use these assets with Corona render. So I'm gonna continue to add here some other objects. And we saw also how we can use HDRIs, which are basically a background for our scene, and they also contribute to the lighting and to the reflections. But you can see here also we have HDRIs for exteriors. So in the previous video, we saw how we can define a simple environment and also how we can set up a studio lighting. Now in this case, would be probably better to use some external HDRI, because we are trying to create here kind of a exterior scenario, just to differentiate from the previous scenarios. And so you can use all these HDRIs, but also later we will see how we can get more from the web as well, from the external websites. So you can decide if you want to use HDRI or you can work with a simple environment. Now in this case, we want to simulate sky. So we either insert an HDRI, or we can use also another procedural map, or we can use a simple color. So let's start with a simple color here. And I can do this like a really bluish tint. And so this is gonna give me kind of a sky situation. And then we're gonna adjust it later. So let's make a render just to see what's going on here. Now remember that this is the basic if you want to have some lighting and if you want to see the object in the scene. Otherwise you would see everything totally black. So in this case, this is a quick and simple way that you can test if the models are working properly. And yes, it is. So we can now stop the render and we can go forward. Now you have two ways to create renders. You have interactive renderings and you have static renderings, and you have the IPR, which is interactive rendering. but inside the viewport. So decide which one works the best for you. Now remember that interactive rendering is constantly working, so it's gonna be a little bit heavy for your machine. And here we are testing some like default material on the overall scene, because this will help us to understand how global illumination is working. Since we are working with global illumination, we will talk about global illumination. This could be helpful to isolate the ambient occlusion there and the global illumination, and not caring about the materials and the textures. Now, if we go in the render setup again, and here in the common part, we will find all the common things that we already have in 3ds Max. If we go in VRAY, we will find extra parameters. And in this case, what we're looking for is GI, which means global illumination. Now, this is the panel which is directly involved in global illumination. And you can switch this from default to advanced, and to have more parameters if you want. And down there, you can see the enable GI is turned on by default, and you have some primary engine and secondary engine. Now, these are the engines that will be involved in global illumination. If you deactivate one engine, like the secondary engine, you will have a simplified render, a simplified global illumination, but it's also going to be a faster render. Now, whenever you decrease the quality, you're going to increase the speed, and vice versa. So you can always do some tests and see if it works. And if it works just with one primary engine, it's going to be good. Now you can see you need to select at least one engine, so at least a primary engine. You can skip the secondary engine if you see the quality is fine, and especially if you are in exterior, you can use also only brute force, or you can use also here as a secondary engine another to increase the quality and the complexity of the global illumination. Now for exteriors, you can do brute force and brute force. This will be fine because exteriors usually have less lights and they will be less complex as type of lighting, so you don't need, let's say, a complex calculation. So you can set primary range, secondary range to brute force. You will see also those tags appearing. They will give you information about the different setup for the render engine and rendering that you will do. So just go there and read. And so basically, you can see here that brute force gonna be like simplified but faster render. And also bounces are important because light will bounce around. This is how global illumination works. It works with direct and indirect lighting. So this is what we are actually setting up here. Now, when you are in interiors, usually it suggests to use irradiance map and light cache, or anyway, two render engines will be better because you have more lights. You probably have more darkness, so you need more lights in an interior. Now I'm going to click and drag here and expand the panels that we have in VRAY frame buffer. You can see here in the statistics, it will give you all the information about the timing and also how many photons, how many rays you are using, and also the level of noise, which we're going to talk later. Noise is an important topic that we're going to go through later. Now, if we search for global illumination, direct and indirect, we can get an idea of what is happening here. So before we get into practice, let's talk a little bit about global illumination. So global illumination, it's a mix between a direct illumination and indirect illumination, which consists of light bouncing around. This is why we can set up bounces. So the more bounces we have, the more realistic will be the look. If we don't have any bounces, or let's say we have only one bounce, that's gonna look less accurate, less complex. So we're gonna have less quality, but we're gonna go